Hey guys, today I'm going to show you why I use the Duktig brand extra small notebook for all my session planning. So let's go. I've had a lot of people reach out asking me what kind of products I use, what kind of equipment I use. You guys always ask me about Tactical Pad and the software that I use. So I wanted to start doing some product reviews, but I wanted it to be different than regular product reviews where people are obviously just pimping products for money and they don't use the products. Not even just talking soccer here. I wanted to give you guys information on products that I use, products that I recommend, and I'm not making any money on this. Now, if Duktig brand would like to give me an email and they'd like to do some business, I'd be happy to do that. I've been using these for years, and I 100% recommend them to run your sessions. The first thing I really like is just the size, okay? It's 3.5 by 5 inches, which means I can put it in my pocket. And for coaches out there who know you get in the heat of a session and you start working on things and you just forget, okay, what's gonna be my next progression? What was my specific coaching point I was gonna work on? And I'll bring this back out and I'll write out of my pocket and I'll say, okay, what was I gonna do? If you try to plan it out on anything bigger that doesn't fit in your pocket, that's really not gonna happen unless you've got like a clipboard, but then you're holding around a clipboard all the time. So the size is huge in terms of just the accessibility and how easy it is. So some of the other things that I really like about this product, the soft cover with the flexible stitch binding, which is really tough to discuss over a video, but it's got a great feel to it. You can really manipulate it. It's not very pliable. It's really strong. The big thing too is just this waterproofing here. I mean, obviously we coach in all sorts of conditions, so it can get wet and it still stands up. I'm going to go through the full field diagrams and kind of how I go about session planning with this in just a minute, but you can see that on the left side here, it's kind of just like a blank with dots, which is helpful. And then on the right side, you've got a full field. So like I said, I'll show you how I use that. It comes in a pack of 3 and it costs $15. So it's really affordable. So these are just the old ones that I could find. If you have any doubt about whether I use this product or not, you can see here, even having 10 of them stacked up upon themselves, they're pretty small and accessible and easy to use. So let's go through how I use this to set up a session plan. Here's a blank sheet, and when I go to plan my session, the first thing that I do is I put the team name, the date, and the number of players that I'm expecting at training. I then take the non-field side, the side here on the left, and I start planning what would be my typical session. And I'll go ahead and link, I have a video on what my typical session is, so I'll go ahead and link that now. I typically start with battle boxes, so I go ahead and write that down and put the specific battle boxes that I'm doing, 1v1 standard, 1v1 pass and receive, 2v1 back to pressure, whatever it is I'm doing. I will then go to rondos. So here I'm looking at doing a rondo 4v1 and then moving it to a 7v3. From there, the typical session moves to a breakdown game. Now, depending on what the overall theme was, whether it was build out or whether it was attack, here I'm just going to do a build out. So a build out breakdown game. And here I'm going to be focusing specifically on the 3v2 build out game. I then typically focus on a attacking pattern or a build out pattern choreography. So here we're going to do some build out pattern choreography, and specifically I'm going to focus on pattern number 3. From there, we're going to move on to a positional build out game of 7v3, 7v4 to goal. And then finish with some crossing and finishing. So now that I have this basic outline planned out, I use the right side of the notebook to do both diagramming as well as coaching points. So usually I pick one of the exercises on the left to diagram out and focus on something specific in terms of my coaching points. So here I'm going to draw out the 3v2 build out breakdown game. And let's just say specifically, I'm focused on the wing giving width to the center back, as well as finding the 2v1 after we've broken that first line of pressure. So you can see here that I'm specifically placing players in certain spots and really trying to focus on individual players, perhaps in terms of what I want them to do with the specific coaching points. So in this specific example, I have Christian as our center back, I have Rocco on the wing, and I have Finn as our center midfielder. And let's just say that, maybe I was watching game tape and I thought Rocco didn't give enough width to Christian, right? So that would be really one of my big talking points is, hey, let's make sure that Rocco gives width. Let's say he's supporting at the line of defense. And then we talked about trying to find that 2v1 after they break the first line of defense. So that'd be the other thing that I'd be really focused on. Here at the bottom, I'm just going to write in again my coaching points with even some player-specific instructions that I want to remember to give them when they're at training. And I know it sounds redundant, but when you're in the middle of training, these things can slip your mind so easy because you see a mistake and you become focused on something else. And, if you're able to write that down and you have that accessible to you, you won't forget it when you're at training. Here's two more examples. You can see here on this one, I have a little bit more diagramming. You can see I've even, with the battle boxes, put players in certain groups that I want to see together. This session here was a little bit more technically themed, looking at dribbling 1v1 and 2v1. So you can see I have kind of diagrams underneath each heading and then the coaching points on the right. I hope that review was helpful, guys. I am going to put the link to purchase this if you would like. Like I said, I don't make any money on that. This is a sincere review. So if you have any questions, let me know. And thanks for watching.